the person class here, apply what we call default modifier. Okay, now let's create another property. Let's call it ID, but instead of using default modifier, we now declare it as private. So when we set it as private, that means this property is only accessible within the same class. So you cannot use this. You cannot access this property outside of a class. Let's say you want to let's say you want to specify in here, for example, in P2 here, let's say you want to set the ID to, let's say 1 2 3 4, for example. If you try to compile this one, error, let's say ID is provided as a private access, so you cannot access this property in the same way as the other property. So this statement is not valid for this case. So one technique in order for you to provide access to private property is to provide what we call setter and getter function. So setter we can declare is void set, so set ID, and then supply the parameter ID, and the other one is getter, get ID function. For get ID, this one is very simple. You simply return the ID, this ID, which means ID here referring to this one. Okay, and in this one you can use this statement. This is how you assign value to this property, because you declare this property is private, then you can provide setter and getter function. These two, one is to set the value, and the other one is to obtain the value of the property. Now in order for you to set and get the value of this property outside of the class, let's say you want to change the ID value for object P3, then you can use set ID P3. So let's say the ID is 2020, for example. Okay. Then in here you can get the value of ID property of this object by using the get ID function. here you can specify the ID value as, since this one is of a string data type, then you can specify S. So Peter should be the information on Peter of this person Peter should be displayed with ID, with ID data. So let's try compile this one. And there is you have successfully compiled the one, this one. Then you can run. Now for Peter, now you have successfully set the ID value and have access to that property. Even though it is declared as private, you can still access it outside of the class using the two function. This is one technique to control the access of the property declared in your class. Another good practice in when initializing the value of your property, you can initialize in your constructor. For example, for this new ID, for this new property ID, you can provide a default value. For example, let's say the default value is X. Similarly in here, since it is not supplied, then you can provide the default value here, and then you can allow the user to change the default value of ID by calling the set ID. So okay, now you can check whether the default value is assigned to the any other object. Let's say ID for P2. ID for P2. Now for this one, it should display the default value. So ID of Sarah should be the default value, which is X. So let's compile this one. Try to compile this one. Now as expected, the ID for Sarah is X, which is the default value.